So I want to talk to you today about something that a lot of resellers deal with, and myself included, and I think it's pretty important to talk about it. So let's get to that on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And you're probably watching this a day or two after I actually made the video, but I'm out here in my garage. Earlier today I went and picked up a load of stuff to sell, and I've got another 20 larger items I've got to go pick up either today or tomorrow, just depending on what my schedule looks like and what I have going on. And the reason why I mention this is because when you deal with so much stuff throughout the day, phone calls, people calling you, asking you for information, posting YouTube videos, trying to get stuff listed, your wife asking you, hey, I can't find this item that I'm trying to ship. Various things. There's probably another dozen things that I probably can't even come up with that's going to be a distraction throughout the day. And this video is not even about distractions. It's about just being overwhelmed. Okay, and somebody asked me on the live stream on Monday, what do you do when you have so many items? And I look at all these items that I have and I'm just so overwhelmed. Now you're talking to somebody who's dealt with a lot of items, accumulating a lot of items at any one given time, dealing with maybe 1 or 2 pallets shipped to my house, and you have barely any room for all of it. And you're kind of just looking at it. And I can recall, maybe a good 15 years ago when I bought a large pallet for my first pallet ever, and brought it home and just dumped it in my garage. And it was full of like electronic components and cables. And we're talking like back in like 2006, 2007. And some of these things had some value, but I was just petrified. I was looking around at my garage, looking at the mess that I made, and my first thought was, now what? I know how to resell, but I was just so petrified by, where do I even begin? And yeah, that does creep up every once in a while. Maybe not so much because I'm kind of managing the number of items that I'm bringing in to resell, maybe 2-3 times a week. So I'm managing that. But I certainly do recall the many pallets that I've purchased where you just have a sea of items, maybe sitting in a Gaylord or spread out if you're sorting through the pallet. And you're kind of just wondering yourself, okay, now what? I know how to resell, but I'm kind of just frozen with being overwhelmed. I just don't know where to start. So what I wanted to do is touch on that. And if you're one of those people who just have and accumulate so many things to resell, and you just get so much stuff, maybe you had a big day at a yard sale, or maybe you've just been buying stuff and you haven't really been listing, and now today's the day you're going to go out and list, and you're just looking at it, and it kind of makes you freeze up, and it makes you just want to not do it. And to me, there's ways to kind of trick yourself into not walking away. And that one way that I think works really well, take a tub, take a bag, take a a box, and fill it up. Okay, so you have the area that you're storing these items in. Take this box or bag or tub and take it into your listing area. Okay, forget about everything else that's in the garage, your basement, wherever you're storing this stuff, and get listing. Your only focus is the 10, 20, 30 items you have right next to you at your listing area, and that's your goal. Your goal is to keep it simple and work on that batch before you think about going out and picking out more stuff to refill your box or bag or tub or whatever it is. And just keep doing that. And you'll find that it becomes easier. And I would recommend, when you're picking through the stuff that's the sea of stuff that you're that's overwhelming you, it's probably best to pick the best items if you know where they're at. Now, there's just so much stuff you really can't get to it. Then just do it in sections. So whatever's closest to you, fill that box up, that bag up, and then just without regard to value, take it back in and list it all. But if you can identify the best stuff, I would say get that stuff listed first, because when that stuff sells, that's going to recoup most of your money back and be your money makers, and then get to the other stuff as time permits. And that's kind of the main strategy that I certainly would employ. But I think sometimes we're a victim of our own habits, or in some cases bad habits. So if you are the kind of person that just loves the source, okay, you buy stuff, you bring it home, you dump it, next day, maybe the day after, go buy stuff, bring it home, and you dump it, and you maybe list once in a while, but you're more buying than listing, well, that'll cause you to be overwhelmed, and it's your bad habit. That's just a bad habit. That's a leak in your game, and you need to fix that. And you need to be disciplined. Yes, I know the fun comes from buying, and it's not fun to list. I don't mind it. I know it's part of the grind, but you have to accept that. In this business, being successful in reselling, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be disciplined with the money you're spending, and you have to be disciplined with getting the stuff listed. So don't put yourself in a position where you're feeling overwhelmed because you just keep buying too much stuff. Stop buying stuff, okay? Get the stuff listed. Tell yourself, you know what? I'm not going to buy another thing for a good month. I've done that many times where I've been basically between pallets for a month or two because I have simply too much stuff out in the garage, and I don't want to be in a position where I'm just looking at a sea of things and I just don't feel motivated to list it because it just seems to be too overwhelming. So just a quick video. Didn't want to rant about this, but you know what? If one person's willing to ask the question on the live stream, that means there's other people out there that are probably feeling the same way, and it doesn't have to feel that way. You just have to learn how to manage it. It's simply, if you are dealing with maybe time issues, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed because of time. I had an issue today. I'm fielding phone calls, business phone calls, dealing with label issues because I'm doing a different shipping process. You guys who are on the live stream are kind of aware of that, and just problems popping up, and I'm running out of time. I have to go pick up product. I have to go drop off packages. I have to run and do personal errands, and it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm running out of time, and I kind of get stressed out, right? And of course, Jenna asks, hey, can I help you? But you really can't. Unless you can stop time, you can't help me. And it's because everything that's accumulated up to this point, listing and shipping and trying to get labels done, fighting with my Rollo printer because for whatever reason the Rollo printer doesn't want to cooperate with FedEx, and we're figuring that out. And I'm just trying to make things work for the positive, but it just seems like I'm kind of in my own way, or things pop up and that's contributing to my lack of time. And so by the time you know it, it all works out, but it's like 5 o'clock. And thankfully the carrier came to pick up the packages, because that would have been my next thing to do. So, just know that even with a lack of time, maybe that's you're being overwhelmed because of that things tend to work themselves out. You just got to take one task at a time, knock it out, get to the next task, and stop looking around you and looking at all the tasks that you have to handle, because that will literally freeze you up, and you will be just sitting there just thinking, what do I do next? So have a plan. Usually it's a good idea to have a schedule. If you get up in the morning at a certain time every day and get started, and a lot of times that will help you feel better, because you get the stuff done. You can choose to continue, or you can quit once everything that you need to get done is done. So that's my advice to you guys. I just want to know what you think. What other ways can you feel overwhelmed in this business? What are some things that you do when you're feeling overwhelmed to kind of get around that? I think if you share that, other people might read your comments, and that'll be helpful to anyone who needs to get through this. So not advice really for everyone. I think a lot of you guys have your stuff together, but there are people who need to hear this, and hopefully this helps somebody. So do me a favor, if you like the content, of course, hit the like button. That does help the content get out to other people who might want to hear this message. Of course, subscribe to the channel. I think about 70%, 60 to 70% of you guys who are watching right now just don't bother to hit the subscribe button. And if you like the content, why not? And then, of course, if you want to be notified when we make the next video or when we go live on Mondays or Fridays, hit that notification bell and you'll be notified that that's going to happen. So guys, you don't have to feel this way. You don't have to feel overwhelmed. Take a deep breath, formulate a plan, and get working. Get to it. Don't allow yourself to be frozen because of something so simple as just feeling overwhelmed, and when you know you can do it. So have confidence in yourself. Don't let anyone make you feel like you can't do something, and just get through the tough parts, the things you don't want to do. I think that's the hardest part when you're feeling overwhelmed, and just do it. And hopefully that helps someone out there. But you know what? When you're feeling overwhelmed, it's yet another example of how sometimes for some of us, flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you very soon.